Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Dark Power, where we cover everything that happens on Tuesdays, AEW Dark, Impact Wrestling, and of course, UWN Primetime Live, NWA. So, guys, we've got a shorter episode of Dark this week, a interesting episode, to say the least, of Impact, and an NWA UWN episode that kind of clears things up a bit when it comes to who is potentially the UWN Heavyweight Champion. So let's get straight into it, guys. But of course, before we do, remember to hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Why haven't you subscribed if you are not already? It better be because somebody else has introduced you to us, and that's something we love to see. It's something we love to have happen. We love it when this thing of wrestling is shared amongst all of our wrestling brethren. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Let's get straight into it, guys. So, as I stated before, Dark looks like it has fewer matches than normal. It's only an hour and 20 minutes long instead of a whopping 2 hours as the past 2 weeks have run. This episode has a lot of tag team matches. It kind of feels as though FTR was in charge of booking this episode of Dark with the focus on tag teams, the way that they wanted to have Tag Team Appreciation Night on Dynamite not too long ago, and now we have this episode of Dark. So starting us off, we have the sons of a famous WWE tag team person. I don't know. Actually, no, I think they are. The Dudleys are in the WWE Hall of Fame. Let me check on that for you right now. But if they are not, they very well should be. And they were. Both Dudleys were inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2018. So the sons of Hall of Famers have already clearly given it away. But this is TNT, the two sons of Devon Dudley. We've seen them in TNA before during some of the time when Devon was in TNA. But here they are making their AEW debut. And they are going up against Chaos Project. It's a pretty good intro, a pretty good opening match. Chaos Project picks up the win as we kind of expect them to. They are the AEW contracted talent after all, but a good showing from the Dudleys. I hope they are coming back soon. Speaking of people who are coming back, we have the Acclaimed, who are now signed to AEW, taking on Justin Black's Louis Valley. They pick up a good win here, getting wins under their belts. They're going to slowly move up the tag team rankings. Let's see what happens with the Acclaimed, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. And again, speaking of people who we want to see again, we have Top Flight coming back for another week, coming back for more action AEW, and they're picking up a win this time. They have a win over Baron Black and Frankie Thomas. Top Flight, two brothers who are very, very good in the ring. I didn't know that much about them before. I've slowly started to learn about them, reading up on some of their matches, just seeing different things that they've done in the past. I want to say sky's the limit for them, but I feel like that would be a little cliche. So let's say that they have a very good shot at reaching the stars. We'll put it that way instead. But they have a very good, bright future ahead of them, and I hope that they will be back again on AEW programming in the not-so-near future. After this, we have a backstage segment with Peter Avalon continuing the theme of what happened now that he no longer has Leva Bates, he no longer has Brandon Cutler, he needs to find himself, and he's reverting to PPA, Peter Avalon, which is who his persona was when he was tag teaming with Ray Rosas, who we've seen on Dark and we've seen on UWN. This is going to be a funny little segment, I'm not going to lie. We're building on this. He is auditioning or interviewing potential managers for the future, and he has set up a kind of dinner date for this one, who is, I believe, the same person as last time, and it happens to be inside of an elevator. So just funny moments, probably the best the highlight of Dark outside of the main event match. Next, we have TH2 picking up a win over Adam Priest and Sean Dean. Again, we've had 4 matches, 4 tag team matches. Like I said, heavy on the tag teams tonight on AEW Dark. But TH2 picking up a win, stacking the wins. Let's see what happens going forward with them up against SCU. I want to see if maybe Matt Sydal does get involved with them. I think I talked about that last week. But either way, TH2 picking up a win. Let's see how they build that storyline out with SCU. Now, Speaking of the aforementioned Peter Avalon, he no longer has the services of Leva Bates. And Leva Bates, I don't know if she's with Brandon Cutler as continuing to be a manager. However, what she is doing, because we don't know whether or not she still is with Cutler, is going after some singles career. And here she picks up a win over Danny Jordan. Danny Jordan, as you will remember, has been on AEW before. She is the Burn Book girl, and even more importantly, as more of a throwback, she was on NWA when they were doing their kind of proving grounds little couple episodes that didn't really get to go anywhere because of what happened with NWA Powerrr overall. But Danny Jordan is not someone who is unknown to us here on Dark Powerrr. After this, we have 5 from the Dark Order picking up a win over Fuego del Sol. Nothing really crazy here to write about. I think that was a pretty good match. Fuego is somebody who just keeps putting in work. If you guys are subscribers to Sammy Guevara and his vlogs, you will notice a lot of Fuego del Sol. I'm not, and I think maybe it's because I kind of jumped into watching some of these a little bit later. I don't know the exact relationship between Fuego del Sol and Sammy Guevara. That's something I kind of want to look into. If you know, please put it in the comments. Appreciate that a lot. But 5 putting on a good showing. Alan Angels does a good job here. And after this, we have Ivelisse and Diamante picking up a win over Dream Girl Ellie and Genocide, who are, I think, Genocide for sure making her debut. I think Dream Girl Ellie had been here one previous time. But Ivelisse and Diamante showing, again, why they won the women's tag tournament, the Deadly Draw. I just want to know what the plan is with Ivelisse and Diamante. Are we going to be getting a women's tag team division? Are they going to be doing something solo career? Are they, what are the plans? That's kind of what I'm interested in, because they just seem like they're treading water. Yeah, they won the tournament. Are they just bodies at this point? I don't know. I want to see how the storylines pan out. What is happening with these two? Because it's just, matches are fine, but we like to sink our teeth into some storylines, don't we, guys? And after this, we have a nice match, main event match of the night. Jurassic Express picks up a really cool win over Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. There's a few moments here where Janela and Jungle Boy are kind of going tit for tat, like anything you can do, I can do better, and a nice little moments there in the match that I liked, including there's a great moment where Jungle Boy is running to make the tag to Luchasaurus. Janela comes up and knocks Luchasaurus off of the ring ropes at the exact same time, and they're staring at each other in the corner. And then when Jungle Boy starts to run away, and Janela makes chase, Jungle Boy dives through the ropes and hits Sonny Kiss on the outside. So Janela says, "All right, if you want to do that," he bounces off the ropes and goes to the other side, taking out Luchasaurus. So good moments in the match. Overall, pretty good episode of Dark. Nothing that crazy. Dark is doing what it's supposed to do. And that's really all I can ask for from Dark. But what I can ask for is who shot Johnny Bravo? That's what we need to be asking. We need to be figuring out how exactly this is happening. Who could have done this dastardly deed? Well, Tommy Sherlock Holmes Dreamer is on the case for us, and maybe we'll get some more clarity as we cover this week's episode of Impact. So today on Impact, we had a couple matches. We have Turning Point coming up this Saturday. I don't know if we're going to be doing a roundtable for that, so don't quote me on whether we are or are not. It's a Schrodinger's cat of roundtables. It exists and does not exist at the same time. But I think Turning Point's going to be a pretty cool little, not pay-per-view, not full-blown pay-per-view, but special attraction kind of show. I don't know, it seems a little rushed to be happening so soon after Bound for Glory. But hey, let's do what you gotta do if you're Impact, and you gotta reward those Impact Plus subscribers. So why not give them something like this? So Turning Point, we have a bunch of matches. I'll try to cover them pretty quickly after I'm done with the review. But starting us off, we have Nevaeh and Havoc teaming up against Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood. So Tennille Dashwood looking for a partner. Last week on Locker Room Talk, she asks Madison Rayne, Jordan Grace seems a little upset about this. Now we're going to see them in tag action against Havoc and Nevaeh. And let's just say, despite the best efforts, it does not go the way of Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood. You have a team that is being thrown together versus a team that has been together for some time. That team should always win unless there is something crazy balancing out to act as a counterbalance. If they're two super successful single stars, maybe you can have a moment where tag team chemistry, you don't need it. But tag team chemistry should always win out in a tag team match, and it does here. So you like to see those kinds of standards of storytelling kicking in. After this, there's a Good Brother segment where they'll be interrupted by Ethan Page hyping up the main event, which is going to be Carl Anderson versus Josh Alexander. After this, we have a Bravo segment doing his Sherlock Holmes impression where he talks to AC Romero and Cody Diener. Both of them deny that they have anything to do with the shooting of Johnny Bravo, which we now realize, or at least I now realize, that did not mean that Johnny Bravo died. I thought it was who killed Bravo. It is who shot Bravo. Bravo is recovering. Thanks be, and hopefully he will be soon. He will soon return to us, and maybe he will be able to tell us. He will have some insight into who shot him. But until then, Tommy Dreamer is on the case, and he is ruling out AC Romero and Cody Diener. So I think they should both be now considered above suspicion. Next, we have Rohit Raju picking up a win over TJP, defending the X Division Championship. He wins via a low blow, but the thing to remember here is that due to the stipulations of the match, TJP can no longer challenge for the for the X Division Championship while Rohit Raju is still champion. So Rohit Raju finally putting TJP in the rearview mirror. He doesn't need to worry about TJP as long as he has the belt. And I mean, if we're being honest here, Rohit's genius of being a heel means he could have that belt for a very, very long time. I wonder who they're going to have be next to challenge Rohit Raju. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, Impact doesn't have the widest range of rosters. They have it's more tight and focused. So see what happens with this. After this, we have a backstage segment with Fallah Bahh. He gets confronted by none other than Hernandez, who comes out of talking with Tommy Dreamer. I'm assuming that Tommy has cleared Hernandez. Hernandez says the only reason why he had anything to do with Johnny Bravo is because Fallah Bahh said that he had that Bravo had the money, pronouns pal, right? And if that was a lie, maybe he thinks Fallah Bahh has the money. And Fallah Bahh is trying to say, no. But it turns out that he doesn't need to worry that much because Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz come up and kind of run off Hernandez. And then while they're talking to him, Tasha Steelz steals the money. Maybe instead of S-T-E-L-Z, it should be S-T-E-A-L-Z. I just thought of that while I was sitting here and saying it. Please don't hate me that much. However, they are able to pull out the old switcheroo, stealing the money out of Fallah Bahh's front pocket. And it looks as though they are now the ones in control of this magical wad of cash that seems to never be spent, despite the fact that it's been in play for weeks. After this, we have some very, very sad news, actually, guys. We find out that the Rascals have been evicted from the Treehouse. And if they are evicted from the Treehouse, it means that they are no longer with Impact Wrestling. So, it seems as though they will have 1 week before they are able to go their own ways. They will be leaving the Impact Zone. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. There have been rumors that they are signing with WWE to be on NXT as a group. If they are, incredible. Congratulations to them. If they are not, incredible. Congratulations to them as you continue to navigate the waters of professional wrestling. There's a lot of money to be made on the independent scene, especially for talents, and they are 3 talents. So whether they are under the bright lights of Wednesdays on the USA Network, or they are under the bright lights of, say, Warrior Wrestling, or any of the other many independent wrestling promotions that they have performed for in the past, I'm sure they will do amazingly well. And this could all be a swerve for all we know. It could be something completely different. They could be staying with Impact for all we know. After this, we have Chris Sabin picking up a win over AC Romero. This is stemming from last week when Sabin and Romero were having some issues after Romero and Larry D from Triple XL attacked Shelley with his neck, being a little banged up still. Sabin is able to pull out the win over Ace Romero. I liked this match. It was a pretty good match in the sense that it told a good David versus Goliath story. I mean, almost anybody is being put into a David situation against somebody like Ace Romero. He has the strength, he has the size, but Sabin does a really good job at it because he has been in multiple David versus Goliath scenarios throughout his career. One of the ones that comes to mind is when he had a short feud for the world title against Bully Ray and the Aces and Eights not too long ago. Actually, that was pretty long ago. That was like 2013, but 14. But yeah, so good match here. I liked the fact that Sabin was able to pull out the win. Sabin is, as the commentators are stating, a former world champion. Former world champions should not be losing that easily, despite the size, because they should have the mind and the experience to make up for size differentials. And Sabin does that very, very well. After this, there is a backstage segment with Sami Callihan talking to Chris Bay, and it looks as though there's some kind of partnership or something that is brewing here. Who knows? Who knows what's going on inside the twisted mind of Sami Callihan? That's my Josh Matthews impression for the week. My one impression for the week for him, I promise. Then we have another Bravo segment with Father James Mitchell. I thought this was very well done. Mitchell is talking about how he doesn't need to get revenge on Rosemary. Because, I mean, she's part of the reason why he's back from the dead, and why would he spill Johnny Bravo's virgin blood? And then when Tommy Dreamer says, but, deception is running, it says there's deception, you're deceived because they're all stuck with the lie detectors. Mitchell has the quality comment of, there's deception running in my veins, it's just who I am. It was a great line. Now we have a really solid match. Eddie Edwards versus Chris Bay. Quick match here. Eddie Edwards picking up the win over Chris Bay. After the match, Bay looks like he is going to attack Eddie Edwards direct face-to-face with a chair, but out of nowhere, Sami Callihan shows up with the lights and the music and all that jazz, and it turns into a 2-on-1 beatdown, but then Rich Swann, our world champion, makes the save, only to find out that Ken Shamrock is not that far behind. I don't know how this works. So, like, if Sammy pushes the button on the phone and everything, the lights go off and all that stuff, and then he magically teleports there, ignoring the fact that he's magically teleporting there, does, like, Beam Me Up Scotty, his technology, not work with Shamrock? And if they were running out there, like, if that's the thing, like, he pushes the button, the lights go out, and he runs out there, did Shamrock show up later because Shamrock can't run as fast as Sammy because he's really old? I don't know. These are the questions that I have. Parts of the things are what boggles the minds. Why is Shamey a thing? I don't know. But either way, the Rascals come out and make the save. One of the things it seems the Rascals are going to be doing before they leave is helping out our world champion and Eddie Edwards. After this, there is a backstage segment with Jordan and Tennille, where Tennille and Caleb with a K basically give as best of an apology to Jordan Grace as they can and ask for Jordan Grace's help. And Jordan Grace says, well, I gotta know if you can be trusted, and so we will figure that out at Turning Point. Next, there is another Bravo segment with Havoc, probably the best segment out of the previous ones, where Havoc is talking about, hey, I didn't want to bring back Mitchell, but Rosemary made me, and she did it fair and square, and she's actually the person you should be talking to. And I like that. How different people are able to cast doubt and aspersions on others, really solidly well done. This isn't supposed to be some grand mystery of sorts. It's a wrestling show. It's a wrestling mystery. But hey, while we're doing it, let's treat it as it should be treated. So next, we have Reno Scum picking up a win over Fallah Bahh and Crazy Steve. This is similar to our first match of the night. Reno Scum are a real tag team, and Fallah Bahh and Crazy Steve are not. So Reno Scum should be picking up the win here, as they do. Next, Sabin is backstage talking to somebody. He's saying, look, I got to have somebody to watch my back. After I beat AC Romero, Larry attacked me. I need somebody to watch my back while Shelly's out, and I think it should be you. And the camera pans, and we turns out to reveal that it is none other than James Storm. We're gonna have some moments of synergy here. And Storm says, "You know what? I'll help you out." And they drink together. Well, Sabin tries to drink, but he says the beer tastes horrible. But Storm says, "You better drink." Next, we have Willie Mack in a backstage segment being checked on by trainers just because of everything that happened with Moose, and then Moose attacks again. Finally, in our main event, we have Carl Anderson taking on Josh Alexander. He's going to win when Ethan Page eventually causes a disqualification. It's a pretty solid main event. I think it just annoyed me that I was hoping this was going to go to a clean finish, simply because a clean finish would have been nice. I think the tag team partner causing the disqualification, it's a little overwrought, but hey, it gets the job done. Because I think while I was watching this match, I was thinking, when is the interference going to happen? It was more of that. It's like, when is the disqualification going to happen? That's kind of more what I'm interested in at this point. The surprise would have been if it had been a clean finish. So anyway, guys, now let's talk really, really quickly about Turning Point itself. We have a total of 9 matches, and they are very quickly. I'm gonna say what the match is, and then who I think is gonna win. The storylines we already know, most of the storylines here that have been going on. So let's start from our bottom and work our way to the top. But the bottom, as Impact has listed, it's Rohit Raju versus to be announced. I'm assuming that Rohit's probably going to win this match. Triple XL versus Sabin and Storm. I'm going to put money on Sabin and Storm because, as I said before, a tag team that isn't supposed to be the existing should not pick up the win unless there is something else counterbalancing, and Sabin and Storm are both former world champions. They are former tag team champions. They are former champions in other companies, so I'm leaning more towards Sabin and Storm, but I can see a situation where a Triple XL win, and the reinforcing idea here is that Sabin is not as good as he thinks he is without Alex Shelley. He needs his partner because Motor City Machine Guns are the team. Sabin and Storm are not. Next, we have Davari versus Eddie Edwards. I'm giving this one to Eddie Edwards. I don't know what exactly Davari is doing in the sense, I don't think there's a real reason for this match to be happening. Next, we have Tenille Dashwood and Jordan Grace versus Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie. I'm going to give this one to Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie to give them momentum in the Knockouts Tag Title Championship Tournament and to further problems between Tenille and Grace. Moose and Willie Mack. Moose. Brian Myers versus Swoggle. Myers. The North versus Good Brothers. I really hope Good Brothers don't win. North, I'm going to pick the North. Su Yung versus Deonna Purrazzo in a no disqualification match for the Knockouts Championship. I'm going to give this one to Su Yung. And Rich Swann versus Sami Callihan, singles match for the world title. I'm going to give this one to Rich Swann. 2 things to note that I forgot earlier is that Deonna Purrazzo was cutting a backstage promo with Kimber Lee when the camera focused in way too much on Deonna Purrazzo, kind of cluing into the fact that either Deonna was going to get attacked from behind, Deonna and Kimber Lee were going to get attacked from behind, or something was going to happen to Kimber Lee. When they panned back out, when Deonna turns around, Kimber Lee's gone. When she goes to look for Kimber Lee, we see Kimber Lee behind a glass panel, and she's got the crap beaten out of her, and it says, "Looks like you're alone," written in blood. And the other thing is that they had a really great moment where they talked about Chris Bay during the Eddie Edwards Chris Bay match. They talked about Chris Bay being in the Super J Cup for New Japan here in New Japan Strong, New Japan USA, and they also talked about Don Callis, Impact Executive Vice President, being on the call for Kenny Omega versus Adam Page at All Elite Wrestling's Full Gear pay-per-view. So we're having these synergistic moments. These are things that I've been talking about for a while, guys. And if we're able to get more of this, if we're able to really get these companies working together, it's going to be something beautiful. It's going to be something amazing. But that synergy can only happen if we also talk about what's happening on UWN. So, what is happening on UWN? Well, let me tell you guys. They are moving forward with their UWN Heavyweight Title Tournament, and we are having a Tag Team Championship match. Wait a minute. One of those guys in the tag team was just on Impact. Shoot, this synergy shit's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, Let's start off with a banger of a match with Chris Dickinson versus Fred Rosser. Fred Rosser selling the elbow injury that the elbow and just arm area injury that he has secured or suffered at the hands of Eric Redbeard, Rowan, as you might know him, last week, and Dickinson in a very, very, very hard-fought match. This is probably, I would say, my match of the night. Picks up a strong win over Rosser to get the go-ahead to go to the finals of the tournament. I say this is a strong match, a strong win, despite the fact that Rosser is injured, because Rosser overcame the odds to keep trying to win this match. He kept pushing, and just you're watching this and you're like, wow, I almost want Fred Rosser to win. But then you remember, Dickinson is just that damn good. Dickinson is a monster, and he is being booked perfectly, I gotta say, when it comes to UWN, how they have presented Dickinson really, really well. He destroys the people he should destroy. He has some difficulty against the people he should have some difficulty against, but no matter what, Dickinson finds a way to win. He is in the finals for the UWN heavyweight title. Next, there's a backstage segment where the Real Money Brothers are going to be doing a promo for their match against 4 Minutes of Heat. 4 Minutes of Heat show up and also bring Will Allday, and they kind of get in the face of Real Money Brothers. This kind of seemed a weird turn because Real Money Brothers then said, fine, we'll take you 3-on-2, and 4 Minutes of Heat are saying, no, you need to find a partner. Now, this felt a little weird to me because 4 Minutes of Heat and Will Allday were presented as the heels. Why you should then want to take advantage of the faces, people being presented as the faces, and say, yeah, sure, no, we can do a 3-on-2 match, absolutely. So just as I just praised UWN for booking Dickinson properly, it seems as though here they were a little confused on what to do. But they weren't confused on who to give Real Money Brothers a partner. There is some guy named Cam. I don't know Cam 100% yet, but Cam is there up on the stairs behind everybody, and they're like, we'll partner with that guy. And so it seems as though we are now going to get a 6-man match for the first time in UWN Primetime Live history, I guess is the way to look at it. So we now have that match. Real Money Brothers and Cam pick up the win over 4 Minutes of Heat and Will Allday. Pretty good match. I think it went a little bit. I feel like it went a little bit too long, but I think that's also because Dickinson Rosser went pretty long, and so I was just like, wow, we're gonna have 2 long matches back to back, but still pretty good match. After this, we have Lacy Ryan in a rematch against Vipress for the FSW Championship. Lacy Ryan putting the belt on the line again. Picks up the win again over Vipress. This time, I don't know if So the story here, in the sense, was that Vipress was upset, saying that the win was robbed from her. Lacy Ryan says, that doesn't make any sense to me, but if that's what you want to believe, we can believe that, and we will have our match. And when they do have the match now, Lacy Ryan picks up the win over Vipress and retains the FSW Championship. Now, here, we have a little bit of a twist in the tale. Here we have Eli Drake and James Storm defending the NWA tag titles against Aaron Stevens and the Question Mark. But interestingly enough, the Question Mark does not appear to be there. And we don't know what's going on, and where is the Question Mark? And all of a sudden, somebody shows up, and when Stevens makes the reveal of who it is, it's J.R. Kratos, who has been on a previous episode of UWN, and Stevens makes the really funny observation that because Question Mark wears a mask, we and UWN can't prove that J.R. Kratos has not been Question Mark this entire time, even though we know it's Josephus. Anyway, Stevens and Kratos pick up the win. We have new NWA Tag Team Champions. I think this was done because Storm is more of a freelancer at this point. Remember, he was supposed to sign with WWE back before the pandemic started, and he wasn't able to do that. So I think now they're moving more towards bringing him in, and he's doing spots here and there. So if that is the case, gotta get the tag titles off of him. Kind of feel bad for Eli Drake, but I think Eli Drake will be able to bounce back. I think Eli Drake versus the winner of the UWN tournament will be a big money match down the road. And who will be facing Dickinson? Well, in our main event, we find out when Miracle Mike Bennett, picks up the win over Davari. Davari, who will be facing Eddie Edwards on Saturday at Turning Point. I know you probably are sick of me saying it, but synergy, guys, it's happening. And Mike Bennett has a strong win here over Davari. Strong story for Bennett. I really am behind Bennett, which leads me to say that I still think Chris Dickinson is going to be the UWN heavyweight champion, but I can see a scenario where Bennett wins as well. Either way, Bennett or Dickinson, I think either one is going to be a really solid champion for them. I lean also more towards Dickinson because it seems Dickinson is a signed person with UWN. Like, they referenced him facing Moxley not too long ago at the GCW collective shows. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's more Dickinson's match to lose, put it that way. So guys, when we find out what happens with that UWN title tournament, it'll be 2 weeks from now. But between then, meaning next week, the week after, the week after, the week after, no matter what happens, we will be here with you every single step of the way here on Dark Power. You can see, because I live in Chicago and we have the time of day shifting, daylight kind of turned into night. But either way, no matter the day, no matter the hour, we will be with you every step of the way. So until next time, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will catch you, and stay safe.